I'm John Biggs, and we're here with Rob Daley and Henry Thorne, co-founders of 4Moms, which is a Pittsburgh-based, is it a toy company? Is it a 4Moms company? What would you describe it as?
Sure. We make high-tech baby products under the brand 4Moms.
And what's the genesis of all these things? So we've talked a little bit about almost all of your products so far, like the full line. We have the origami stroller, which opens and closes itself, the Mamaroo, which is a high-tech swing, and you also have the Breeze
Play yard.
Yep. So you have three major products. And what's the overarching vision for these products?
So the idea is that Henry and I felt that in the early part of the kind of 2000, 2005 timeframe, we'd hit an important part of the Moore's Law curve. And that is, as the price of electronic components continue to get less expensive, that we can use those to revolutionize established industries that have never used electronics before. So we've been focusing on the juvenile space because we feel like it's a great space to build a market, and we're really using robotic technology to revolutionize those categories in the juvenile space.
So why hardware in this space? This feels like an established place. There's all sorts of buggies out there. There's all sorts of low-tech stuff for kids. Why would you add just this extra hint of robotics to something like a buggy, which you feasibly buy for like $25 for like an umbrella stroller or something like that?
The answer to that is you want to do that if you can deliver something fantastic to the consumer that they haven't had before, that you cannot do without electronics and mechatronics. If you can deliver some fabulous benefit that you couldn't do purely mechanically, that's when you want to utilize electronics and mechatronics.
What changed in 2005 that made it easier for you guys to build robotic strollers and robots of this caliber? Was there a big change in the market? Was there a big change in assembly, manufacturing?
So as Rob said, we hit an important part of Moore's Law, where the lowering cost of electronics meant that the computing power I was using in a robot that delivered supplies in hospitals that had been $13 was down sub $1, we figured, about 3 years from then. And it turns out in our Mamaroo, we actually have 70 cents delivering all the power that I used to drive robots around hospitals with. So the Moore's Law did keep happening. We did get down to these really low-cost chips that are driving the robotic Mamaroo, which you couldn't do without that. You need what would have been $13 worth of chips 7 years ago. So we saw that coming, took advantage of it, and now we have these products actually using it.
You guys wouldn't consider yourselves a startup now, but in terms of being a hardware startup, what were some of the hardest things that you had to deal with over the first couple years trying to build?
The problem with building any complex robotic hardware is it takes a lot longer than you think it does, even when you take that into account. So we took that into account, but it still took longer to get our products to market. We had a lot of customers screaming for them, which was always good, but it took a long time to get there.
Any best practices you would recommend for a smaller startup trying to essentially add robotics to an established market?
Yes, once you get hardware in there, real computers controlling machines, it takes longer than you think it's going to take. And be patient, be ready to be patient. The investors are going to have to be patient, but you can deliver phenomenal benefits to the consumer if you're willing to put the time in and solve all the little problems that happen.
And what would it take to build a baby exoskeleton? So you could put a baby in it and it could walk. Could you pull that off? Do you think you guys could do it?
It would take a while.
All right. So I'll be the first on the list. Okay. For the baby exoskeleton.
Absolutely. We'll get right on it.
All right, perfect. These are the founders of 4Moms, Rob Daley and Henry Thorne. I'm John Biggs, and this is TechCrunch. Thanks for watching.